They thought breaking him would be easy, until the scoreboard told a different story.
Too slow.
The crowd fell silent as the ball left K Showtime's hands, spinning slowly through the hot Manila air before dropping cleanly through the hoop. For a second, nobody moved. Then the noise exploded, half cheers and half disbelief, because the same players who mocked him earlier were now staring at him as if they had just witnessed something impossible. Sweat ran down his face, his long Rasta hair swinging behind him as he turned calmly and walked back on defense without celebrating. This wasn't just another street basketball game. This was survival, respect, and identity colliding on cracked concrete under the unforgiving Philippine sun. K Showtime didn't come to the Philippines searching for fame or attention. He arrived quietly,
Hey everyone, ready to play?
carrying only a worn basketball
here we go.
and a calm energy that felt
Nice
different
catch.
from the loud personalities dominating the courts. Back home, basketball had become complicated. Politics, pressure, and expectations that drained the
We have
joy
to
from the
stay
game.
united. I'm with
But
you.
here, in
We've
narrow
come too far to
streets
give
filled
up
with
now.
laughter
Let's
and
do it.
chaos,
All right, team, listen
basketball
up.
felt
We move the ball
alive
fast to high
again.
station.
The first time he approached
That's
the
it.
court,
Hands up on D,
kids
communicate.
paused mid-dribble
team,
to
listen
stare
up.
at the
We move the
tall
ball
black
fast to high
man with
station.
Rasta hair.
That's it.
Foreigners
Hands up on D,
sometimes
communicate.
visited, but they rarely stayed long enough to become part of the community. Kay simply stood on the sideline watching, smiling gently, absorbing the rhythm of the game before finally stepping onto the court when invited. At first, they underestimated him completely. Players laughed when he missed his first shot, and someone shouted that he didn't belong here. The games were fast, rough, and unpredictable, filled with trash talk and pride. Kay moved cautiously, learning the flow, allowing others to test him physically and emotionally. Then suddenly, everything shifted. He intercepted a pass, drove past two defenders with smooth control, and finished with a clean layup that silenced the laughter instantly. The court erupted with surprise, and from that moment, curiosity replaced doubt. But respect on the streets wasn't given freely. Some players welcomed him because he helped them win, while others felt threatened by his calm confidence. They mocked his accent, joked about his style, and ignored him during team selections. Despite his skills, he was often chosen last, treated like a temporary guest rather than a real competitor. Yet, once games began, his performance forced everyone to pay attention. He passed selflessly, defended aggressively, and encouraged teammates instead of blaming them for mistakes. Slowly, whispers spread across nearby courts about the Rasta-haired foreigner who never argued, yet always influenced the outcome. Fame on the streets came with contradictions. One day, he was celebrated as a hero. The next day, he was treated like an outsider again. Players called his name when they needed a clutch play, but ignored him during strategy discussions. Some even froze him out deliberately, refusing to pass unless the team was losing badly. Kay noticed everything but rarely reacted emotionally. Instead, he stayed after games to teach younger kids fundamentals: dribbling, footwork, patience. The children admired him deeply because he listened to them and treated them with respect, regardless of their skill level. For them, basketball became more than competition. It became connection. The tension escalated when a dominant group of older players began targeting him openly. They controlled rotations and believed outsiders shouldn't gain influence too quickly. During games, they fouled him aggressively and mocked his composure, expecting him to react angrily. Trash talk turned personal, but Kay responded only through performance, elevating his game whenever he faced them as opponents. Spectators sensed the hostility, but remained silent because street basketball had its own unwritten hierarchy. Then came a high-stakes match that drew a massive crowd. Rumors spread that strong players from neighboring districts were coming specifically to challenge K Showtime. When teams formed, he ended up with inexperienced teammates, while elite players gathered on the opposing side. Many expected a quick defeat. From the start, Defenders double-teamed him, pushing him physically and laughing whenever he stumbled. Yet he stood calmly each time, dusting off his knees and continuing without complaint, confusing opponents who expected emotional reactions. Instead of trying to prove himself through individual scoring, Kay began empowering his teammates. He passed confidently, encouraging players who usually avoided pressure. Slowly, their confidence grew. A shy teenager made 2 unexpected shots, and another player began defending with surprising intensity. The crowd felt the momentum shift as a game predicted to be one-sided transformed into a balanced battle. Opponents grew frustrated because their bullying tactics failed to break his focus. During a timeout, one rival mocked him loudly, asking why he smiled despite disrespect. Kay simply nodded without responding, and his silence unsettled them more than any argument. As the game progressed, he controlled the tempo strategically, conserving energy for crucial moments. With minutes remaining, tensions escalated further when a hard foul sent him crashing onto the concrete. Gasps filled the air, and spectators expected conflict. Instead, he stood calmly and extended a hand to the player who fouled him, transforming hostility into confusion. The score tied near the end, and pressure filled every possession. Double teams chased him relentlessly, but he trusted teammates, delivering precise passes that created scoring opportunities. Players who once avoided responsibility began stepping up confidently, fueled by his leadership. Game point arrived, and the ball landed in his hands with defenders surrounding him. The crowd expected a dramatic final shot, but he drove toward the basket before passing to a wide-open teammate who finished easily, securing victory instantly. Cheers erupted, yet Kay remained humble, encouraging teammates rather than claiming credit. Despite the win, some players remained bitter, claiming luck played a role. Rumors spread questioning his style, but younger players defended him passionately. Over time, his consistency reshaped perceptions. He showed up daily regardless of weather, proving dedication through action rather than words. Teenagers began asking him privately how he stayed calm despite disrespect, and he explained that real strength meant lifting others rather than proving dominance. The culture of the court slowly evolved, though resistance remained. A rival known for aggressive dominance challenged him publicly, turning a game into a symbolic clash between old and new philosophies. The rival scored loudly and celebrated aggressively, but Kay responded with balanced teamwork, highlighting the contrast between ego-driven play and collaborative leadership. Attempts to provoke him failed repeatedly, frustrating opponents further. As fatigue set in, teammates relied on him emotionally as much as physically. In the final moments, he intercepted a pass and slowed down intentionally during a fast break, allowing teammates to participate before creating the decisive play that secured victory. Even critics began acknowledging his influence. Over time, team selections changed, and he was chosen earlier, no longer seen as an outsider. Kids imitated his training routines, and parents noticed positive changes in their children's confidence and discipline. The once divided court transformed into a space where collaboration replaced hostility. Challenges still appeared, but veteran players who once doubted him defended him openly. One rainy afternoon, players gathered despite flooded courts, sharing stories while waiting for the rain to stop. Someone asked why he stayed despite difficulties, and he explained that basketball here felt genuine because of the community. His reputation spread across neighborhoods, attracting visitors curious about his legend. During a regional tournament, his team faced elite opponents. Despite expectations of defeat, they competed fiercely, using lessons learned from months of growth. Near the end, he trusted a young teammate with the final shot, and when it scored, celebrations erupted as a symbol of collective achievement rather than individual glory. Former bullies admitted their earlier behavior came from fear, and conversations replaced resentment with respect. As months passed, K's showtime became a symbol of resilience, proving that patience could reshape even the toughest environments. One evening at sunset, he watched younger kids practicing drills he taught months earlier, their laughter filling the air. He realized the real victory wasn't measured by points, but by transformation. The court that once challenged him relentlessly had become a place of belonging. And as the lights faded and another game ended, everyone understood one truth. The streets didn't break K's showtime. They revealed who he truly was. If this is your first time watching this story, make sure you subscribe and stay with us for more powerful stories that go beyond the game.